Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So there are a couple of things I want to address before I even get started in this video, and the most obvious one is that I am in a different location. I have moved and this is probably what my background is going to look like now. The second thing, the elephant in the room, literally because it is so big, is the new cage that is behind me, and I know a lot of you are excited and really wanting to see a video on that. It will be coming soon. I just need to make the cage look a little bit more attractive. Right now I have like Christmas hammocks and stuff in there because I really need some more hammocks to fill the cage out, and that will be coming soon as my cage is looking not ugly. So yeah, I am in a different room than what you're probably used to. I'm sorry if you can hear the fish tank like making noises. It's right next to the camera and it's trickling away. Sorry if my dogs start barking. Sorry if the rats start being noisy behind me. I'm trying to get used to it, so hopefully you guys can persevere too. The last thing I want to say is that I do actually have the flu right now, so if I sound a little bit weird, that is why. So for today's video I want to talk about something that I do sometimes get asked, and that is, what are the best toys for rats? Now when you do bring a new animal home, or you're thinking of getting a new animal and wanting to prepare for it, it can be overwhelming knowing what is the best toys for them and what is going to keep them entertained. Now there are a lot of good toys out there on the market for rats, toys they can chew on, toys they can climb on such as ropes and ladders, and these are all great for their own reason. But today I want to talk about toys I think are really beneficial for your rats and toys I think are really worth investing in. When we bring any animal into our homes, we want to try our best to help them replicate their natural behaviours that they show in the wild, and foraging is one of these behaviours. Foraging is a behaviour that is seen in many animals and is also seen in rats, and it's a natural behaviour they would do to search for their food in the wild. To simulate this in your own home is very important because rats are highly intelligent and they can get bored easily. By making it a challenge for them to get food and for having to use their brains to work out how to get it, this can make their daily lives much more interesting and provide some really good enrichment. One way to do this is by scatter feeding their food in their cage instead of just giving it to them in a bowl. This is also why it's really good to have loose substrate in your cage, because the food kind of disappears in the bedding and they have to dig around to find it. There are, however, other ways to stimulate this foraging behaviour, and that is by using foraging toys. These come in many different forms, and I have a couple down here that I want to talk about and show you. Most of these are aimed at parrots, and I did get them from parrot websites, but as I always say, parrot toys make really good toys for rats. If you're interested in any of the toys I mentioned in this video, I will be leaving them linked down in the description. The first type of foraging toy that I wanted to mention is Foraging Balls, and I actually have two here. The first one is actually aimed at small animals. I think this one is aimed at rabbits because it's covered in tiny little carrots, but it does have an opening here that you can change the size of depending on obviously what type of treats you're putting in, and it just clicks into place and you can change it to a smaller hole to make it more difficult. This one's really great, but it is covered in bite marks where they've obviously got frustrated not being able to get it out, but they can just roll this around and the treats will actually fall out the hole, so this is a really good one, and I think you can actually get this in most pet stores. And then the next one I have to show you is focused more towards parrots, but it works exactly the same. This one has slightly bigger holes, and I think it just unscrews for you to put the food in. This one will probably be better for vegetables, just because the holes are bigger. But yeah, they basically work exactly the same, where you put the treats in and the rats have to roll the ball around, or with this one they can put their paws into it and actually get the food out. Similar to those, I also have this smaller one that is targeted at cats, and Sunday in particular is really obsessed with this. He will carry this around in his mouth and carry it up and down the cage and just tip it up to get the treats out. Moving on, I wanted to talk about foraging toys you can actually hang in the cage, and I have two types of these. This one I think is really cool because it is actually shaped like a rat, and the holes on this one are quite big, so I put either chunks of vegetables in here or low protein dog biscuits, and I usually put things in here that are actually bigger than the actual holes, just so they have to work that little bit extra to get them out. And of course, while it is hanging in the cage, it will be swinging around while they're trying to get it out, which can be quite funny to watch but also provides an added challenge. Another one that I got that is aimed at parrots is this one, and I think this is going to be a little bit more difficult because they do have to move the levers to get the food to drop down to the next level. I'm not too sure how well they're going to get along with this one. I've saved everything for this video in the packaging so that I could talk about it. I'm really excited to see how they get along with this one and whether it's too difficult for them or not. I've seen some other rat people have this in their cage, so I think this one's good too. So the toy that I'm most excited to mention, and the one that I've been wanting to get for so long, is a foraging wheel. This toy is really good for putting your rat's main diet into, as opposed to some of the other toys where they're mainly just for like treats and vegetables. This you can actually put their main diet into, as opposed to letting them just have it all the time and just have free access to their food. They actually have to work for it by spinning this bit here, and they can actually reach inside to get their food out. This just makes dinner time a little bit more exciting and enriching for them, and I'm so excited to try this out with my rats. The last thing that I thought was worth mentioning, and probably the thing that you're most commonly going to come across in stores, is this. I think these are called kebabs, and they're basically just skewer sticks that you stick chunks of vegetables on just to make it a little bit more challenging for your rats to actually access them. And this is just opposed to like putting their vegetables in a bowl. This just makes it a little bit more difficult for them to actually get the food, and again enriches them to express their natural behaviours and encourages them to not be lazy. So these were just some of the foraging toys that I thought were worth mentioning. Of course, you don't have to buy any of these. I will leave them linked down in the description, but you can just get creative and make your own. Even just something as simple as using a toilet roll tube and stuffing some treats or food inside will make your rat's day a little bit more interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing some of the toys that I picked up lately. I'm really excited to use them and see what my rats think. I'm always looking for new ways to keep my rats entertained because they are so highly intelligent. I'd never want them to get bored. And I hope that you take on board this video too and go out and get your rats some foraging toys, or get creative and make some yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to see more unrelated videos from us, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye!